He was 7 of 12 on three-pointers versus Gonzaga, and yesterday Trent Johnson telling his team, you got to come out to him with your hands up, and they didn't do it to start the game. Lopez this time off the mark. They get the offensive rebound and the putback.
And already we've seen what we talked about, the battle of the outside against the inside. An offensive rebound by Stanford in 8 games and only attempted 3 shots, so Dave Lato not looking for offense from Soroya.
Virginia now with 3 turnovers in the ball game. Neither team turns the ball over a whole lot. Washington. Soroya rejects it, but we have a whistle and a foul.
And that's what Washington does. Fred Washington is one of those guys who does not score a lot of points. He only shoots about 55% from the free throw line, but he shoots 57% from the field. He likes to take the ball and drive it to the basket.
Mamadi Diane whistled for the foul. Washington will go to the line. Fred Washington, the senior out of Bishop Montgomery High School in Los Angeles.
He is one of those nitty-gritty guys. He can be an extremely valuable player and is an extremely valuable player, even if he doesn't score a point.
Landry Fields comes into the lineup for Stanford wearing jersey number 2. Washington played only 6 games last year before a knee injury knocked him out.
And that really hurt Stanford last year.
Well, the first 2 years of Trent Johnson's regime, they had high expectations for the Stanford squad, and both
Singletary and Reynolds tonight. They're getting contributions from a lot of guys.
That Singletary only has 3 points. Lopez from outside, high off the backboard, doesn't get it. Harris gives him
what a pass.
Nice pass inside. Lopez with a right-handed slam.
And that's what Fred Washington will do for you. Simply runs down that ball in the corner and makes a great pass to Lopez for the basket.
You talk to Trent Johnson, you say, what about Washington and what he does? Because he's relentless. 10:25 to play in the opening half. Lopez shows he's here tonight. Stanford leads it by 5. Reynolds, he gets a step on Washington. Harris. Lopez with a block. Harris tries it again. The tip won't go. Rebound. Washington had it, and he is fouled on the play. Ron started with Lopez with a block.
Lopez made a great block, but that second shot attempt, watch Lopez come in here. He's going to get the block shot. Harris gets the rebound and shoots it again, but this time Lopez doesn't go for the block. And so that's really a smart play. Robin Lopez with 1 personal foul. He was in great position.
You see the turnover situation. The Cavs with 6. They average about 14 a game.
Virginia has really picked up its defensive intensity here in the last couple of minutes. But
oh, that's pretty, though.
Washington beats that intensity with some offensive intensity of his own.
Washington was the inside versus outside contest we're going to have tonight. And for Virginia, they were counting on outside help. But you look at Diane and also J.R. Reynolds, 0 for 8 shooting the basketball tonight for Virginia. Neither one of them have scored. And you can see Stanford with a 2-point advantage as we begin the second 20.
Stanford starts in the man-to-man defense. One of the problems for Diane with this big lineup that Stanford has played, he's going against the 6'8" Hill out on the perimeter.
Well, Johnson starting instead of Goods for Stanford because Goods had some problems guarding Singletary. He's got the ball now. So whistle away from the ball. Offensive foul on Reynolds, and that'll be his 3rd.
See, it's very interesting. With this lineup that Stanford is playing, Lawrence Hill is guarding Diane, and he's got him by about 3 or 4 inches. It's hard for Diane to shoot over. And Fred Washington is guarding J.R. Reynolds, and it has been very difficult for Reynolds, who's actually going to go out of the game because he picked up a foul. But Washington is a guy, he's so versatile, he can guard people on the perimeter, and he has really given J.R. Reynolds fits. J.R. Reynolds fits.
Now they bring in Adrian Joseph. Johnson looks at the 3, takes the 3, and he drains the 3.
And shot it in the basket.
ACC's co-player of the week for the first week of January.
Got a mismatch inside.
Washington, nice move inside. Washington now with 8.
Will Harris has to guard.
With a chance to tie or go within 1. No foul called. Washington pushes it to Hill. Singletary, nice job catching up. Lopez can't get the jam. Keeps it alive. Turnover. Singletary. Lopez can't get it. Rebound controlled by the Cardinal. Lopez lost the handle. That should have been a travel, and we'll give that a travel instead.
Quick with the basketball. A very, very tough guy to guard.
And we are tied at 42.
Now Virginia stays in the zone. And with only one Lopez inside, it'll probably be easier for Virginia to guard the inside. Stanford doesn't really have a very effective outside shooting game.
Washington to Lopez with the two-handed jam. Harris had no shot at that. He's got 8.
Great way to attack his zone is dribble penetration, and Washington just went into the zone, drew the defense, and found Lopez.
Adrian Joseph.
That Robin Lopez can help well enough on the screen to prevent Sean Singletary from getting that shot.
First lead in a long time for Virginia. Goods. Not a smart play. Washington, no. We've got a whistle and a foul. Goods got airborne, but he wasn't going anywhere.
He tried to dunk it from much too far away. Dave Lato asking for an offensive foul. Either that or he's practicing the Statue of Liberty play, I'm not sure. But here Goods drives to the basket. You can see Tunjay Soroye coming over trying to help out. Goods just doesn't have the leaping ability to get it over Soroye for the basket.
Foul was on Mamadi Diane. That's his second. And at the line it'll be Fred Washington.
And how often has Washington been in the middle of everything today?
Yeah. 9 points in the ball game for Fred Washington, who averages just 7 a game. Joseph in, Harris out.
And he's made 3 out of his 4 free throws thus far.
Which is good considering he's at 56% on the year. Singletary, though, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. He's got 10 in the ball game.
Singletary's one of those guys who it's like Mr. Gadget there. He just stretches out and shoots the ball over Lopez.
Plastic Man. Hill, baseline jumper, and Stanford answers again to pull.
Soroye is going to set that screen. Robin Lopez can afford to go out and double team because they're not going to pass it to Soroye cutting to the basket.
Lopez sees a double from Tucker. Dribbles 1 step back. Washington is fouled on the play. Stanford has 5 players in double figures, but they still trail by 1, 2.5 to play. We'll be back. Washington will go to the line for Stanford. 10 points in the game, 4 of 5 from the stripe. He's got 7 rebounds. And the free throws offset the fact that Stanford has gone over 2 minutes without a field. 9.4 left.
Well,
Solomon
now
Tapp comes in for Virginia, and Stanford will use their final timeout.
Free throw, you have to get the rebound. And for Virginia down on the other end, if Stanford does get a shot, you want to make sure you block out. You don't want to lose the game on a tip-in at the buzzer.
Which we've seen Lopez already do, a tip-in. For the lead. 1-point advantage. 9.4 left. Stanford with the basketball. Washington gives it up to Hill. In traffic. He's got it with .9 left. Reynolds at the buzzer. And Stanford has beaten Virginia.
On the shot clock. And Hernandez just takes it all the way, tried to spin it off the glass, and the follow is up and good. Didn't they score about 80 between them in the championship game against Michigan?
Well, I think Goodrich at that time. Hazard had left. Goodrich, I think, at 43.
That's right. Washington with a steal. Stepped out of bounds and got away with it. And finishes.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter is right. And that brings this crowd to its feet. 3-2. All Stanford in the first 20 minutes. Freddie Washington productive for the Cardinal. They lead it by 26, 51-25.
Unselfish in the open court.
Taylor all the way to the basket, missed a crippled. I think he turned the ball, carried the ball anyway. Washington coming the other way, off the window and in. I mean, this is a whooping.
I think the Cardinal may be serving notice. What do you think? They got off to a slow. This team was 0-3 in the conference, going for their 6th consecutive win. How about Fred Washington? Let's just finger roll it over everybody.
And his team leads it by 31.
Barry, here's our next stale play of the game, and it was really the great steal there by Washington, and you see him in the open court. And that really typified the way the Cardinal played this afternoon. They did a nice job there to the way the Cardinal played this afternoon. They did a nice job there to get that ball and take it all the way to the basket. Fred Washington, our next stale play of the game.